Welcome back to the Diecast Museum. Today we are sorting through a box filled with about 100 mystery Hot Wheels, vintage Hot Wheels, and going to be placing them in the many kind of shoebox totes that I have. Hundreds and hundreds of pounds of old, very old Hot Wheels here. We looked at this in the last video, so I'm not going to zoom in just yet because we are going to be looking at a lot of these shoeboxes full of cars close up as we go through this box that I purchased not too long ago of junk Hot Wheels for the most part. And when I say junk, guys, I use that term lovingly. Please don't get offended. This is not a scrap heap. This is a lifelong collection. I'm nearly 40 years old, and many of these cars I've had since I was either a kid. Most of them I bought about 14 years ago, and probably the last 25% in the last 15 years, just here and there as I can. They certainly aren't as easy to come across as they used to be. I used to go to the automotive flea market nearby and pick up a lot of these things each and every year that went on. You still can, but they're getting harder to find. More of the cars are slightly newer than the old Hot Wheels that some of us that grew up with these specific particular models are familiar with, as some of them are quite iconic, including that Mark's Phone Truck Company vehicle. The last three bins here on the end of the table are kind of the newer cars. These would be late 90s through to maybe some early 2000s. Some cars just got sorted in here because of like type of cars. I don't think all of them are necessarily newer, but certainly the vast majority of these cars are going on 20, 30, 40, 50 years old even in some cases. So we're going to get these sorted quickly because, as it turns out, I've had these cars out on the table for about 2.5 days. And I walked in here and I noticed, looks like the table's got a bowl in it. The cars are kind of sinking. Well, in fact, my plastic table is beginning to show the signs of collapse. It might not be capturing it here on video, but I even saw some fatigue marks on the bottom of the plastic. So I'm really not sure how much all these cars weigh, but it certainly seems to be taking a toll on the table. And not that I really care too much, I just don't want to destroy my table. So worst case, I may have to put a piece of plywood over it to level it out for future things and reasons of the sort. So without further ado, let's get into this box and see what we've got. I'm going to clear a few bins off of the primary review table here, so you can pull up a chair with me, and we're going to take a look at what comes out of that box, and then we're going to go ahead and put each of those cars where they belong. See what else kind of jumps out as we do that. The ones on the top we did already look at in the last video, so it's almost like a part two. We're going to go right in for a good search and look at everything, then organize the cars, of course. We are going in for the deep dive of cars. We did look at this Matchbox Mega Blaster last time, so we've already discussed that one. That's a Matchbox. That's going to go elsewhere. Then we got the Kenner car. That's, I think, one of the only Kenners in here, I think. A Yatming car. Pretty rough, so that's probably also the only Yatming in here. I'm going to sort these out brand from Hot Wheels, and then they'll individually go elsewhere. We've got this old metal Matchbox dump truck. Definitely seen some sandbox play. It's got a plastic base. So we're going to put that over there. Make sure these cars don't roll off the table off the side. Painted cars, those go in a whole different spot. These are just too junked to even be sorted into my collection of other cars, so I'm going to put those separately, and that goes for the Hot Wheels as well. We've got the Rockbuster here, totally painted up and missing parts. Again, that's going to go elsewhere. The Tamica. These are probably the only two Tamica Ford Mark V's. Ford what? Ford Continental, of course. So those are very cool cars. Really happy to have those in the collection. And I think we're almost into just nothing but Hot Wheels here. Got another Matchbox on the surface of things. What the heck is this one called? The Fire Chief. That's pretty old. That'll be from the late 70s, I think. So again, sorting things off to the side here. And the Jet Threat. This is the Jet Threat 2.0 or 1.0. I'm not really sure. No, just a jet threat. 1970 copyright. This one's actually from about 1977. It does not have the redline wheels. I don't think this paint job came with the redline wheels. It is missing the plastic canopy on the back. So the value on that's going to be next to about $1, I guess. Most of these cars are not going to be worth more than about 50 cents, really. 25, 50 cents. The Hot Ones Fiero 2M4. Got two of those ones. One's in slightly better condition than the other. Quite cool. Quite a common car from about 1985, I think. Hot Wheels released that one. So this one's in decent shape. I might actually put that one in my non-chipped. Yeah, it doesn't even have any chips on it, really. So that's a nice one. Just a couple chips on the wheel wear bars. So we're going to separate that one separately. I'm going to show you guys, after we go through this box, how I sorted everything through. And, of course, then from there into the shoe boxes full of cars. We had the crack up, which doesn't really hold. Kind of does. So that's a separate kind of car. The greased gremlin. Still showing its tampos, but of course it's got some damage. And it is, or is it? Yeah, the greased gremlin. So that's about 1982, I think, on that one. 57 Chevy, very common casting. This is the blackwall version, so it's actually an older one. That's also from 1982. A couple of these nice little Porsche 911s, or yeah, P911. That's what Hot Wheels calls it. Got a Hong Kong variation and a Malaysia base. So those would be released also in 1982. A lot of 1982 cars. And the reason for that is because Hot Wheels did make a lot of cars in 1982. It's kind of like a really good year for Hot Wheels. In fact, that last Porsche is pretty good condition. Might actually... it's got quite a few flea bites still. All right, well, we don't need to keep it in the minty section then. The Mercedes 540K, I can say that with confidence now after having looked at Mercedes for a while. It does not say. They've actually blanked it out on the base under Hot Wheels with a bar. Many different base variations. This one has the removable roof, of course. You can make it a convertible. Oftentimes the extremely played with versions won't have that roof because it, of course, has been lost in play. Custom Corvette. Oh, look at it. It's got the 1 billionth Hot Wheel base on it. That's why those two clips are there, so it can actually stand on the podium. So that's an interesting variation. I don't know. That's probably from 1989 or 90. What is this? Looks like a Matchbox. Very weird car. Lots of nice interior bits. Cool, it still has a windshield. Oh, it's a Majorette. The Excalibur. 156 scale, made in France. So there you go. Some other interesting vehicle brands in here. The Dodge D50. It's missing several roof pillars. A lot of wear and tear on this one. It is a high raker. That's what this axle is called. Yeah, it's not really holding. That'd be from about 1981. Got the 80s Firebird here, plastic base, the gold Hot One wheels. I think the camera just doesn't like the fact that I'm going into the box and then straight up to the camera with the vehicle. Maybe I should just keep the vehicles farther away, but I like to look at them up close with you guys. So we have the Caterpillar. This is the older casting. It still has Caterpillar on the grill. Newer ones do not have that. And then again, Caterpillar 777. That's the truck model type. Made in Malaysia. Copyright 79. And these things are amazingly resilient. I can't believe how strong the hinges are on these old Hot Wheel dump trucks. Really were properly guaranteed for life by the looks of it. They hardly ever break. 57 Chevy. This is probably from the mid-90s. I'd say about 1995, even though it has a 1976 copyright. Obviously, many of you guys know that that is meaningless as to when the actual car with the current paint job and wheels was released, because they didn't even make these SB5 wheels until like about 1990. So I'll still sort out somewhere. Oh, we found another Ertl car. I didn't think there was any more Ertls in here. And the Ertl wagon with the opening doors, a very simplistic interior. And that one is the 55 Chevrolet Replica. They call it a replica. Of course it's a replica. Missing a bit of the bumper. Got quite a few of those in my collection. Put that off somewhere else. Another painted with car. Terrible paint job. Maybe a 2-year-old painted it. I don't know. The Hot Bird. Here's an interesting car. Not a Hot Wheel. What is this? Looks like a Kenner. Nope. Corgi Jr. Formula J Racer. I don't have one of these in my collection. but again, it's in absolutely abysmal condition. Another newer car, 95, that metallic blue Hot Wheels theme. Really like that theme, and this is a heavy car, great for the racetrack. So if it has good wheels, I'll probably even try that one out at some point on the Hot Wheels track, because they are a good size, good weight. And what have we got here? I forget the name of this one already for some reason. Luckily it says it's the 31 doozy. How could I forget? It's missing its roof, and look at the windows, just mutilated. So it's had some asphalt time, that's for sure. And we've got the U.S. mail delivery van from Hot Wheels. This is the plastic base. First release was metal base, actually redline right back to 1976. This would be about 1980 or 81. The 55 Chevy Fever. This one is from 1981 or 82, 81, 82 copyright. So that's I don't know if that's a first release. I can't remember. I don't know. That's not a first release. Can't be. Maybe it is. I don't know. Can't remember. Another 31 doozy. Always amazed at how the diecast on the bumpers of these older cars was able to bend inwards like that from all the excessive play wear and smashing the cars together. Seems like diecast these days just breaks in half and cracks right off when you do that to them. So not sure if diecast was of a stronger quality back in the early 80s and 70s. Really would not surprise me, given that almost everything is better made back then. Neat streeter with a terrible paint job on it. This car was originally baby blue, but as you can see, it's going into the painted junk pile. We've got that nice little Miata, Mazda MX-5. It's about 1992 release, I think. It's just got one big chip on it, so sadly it's going to go into the junk pile. And another 31 doozy. This one's in orange. This will be a first release black wall. It also came out in a red line back in 1978 or 77. Has a 76 copyright. We got a few of those. I should be putting these all, yeah, kind of putting them in their same spot. I see a Matchbox Volkswagen Rabbit. Good shape. Missing the spare wheel. VW Golf. Sorry, not a Rabbit. Okay, as we continue. Oh, here's another car, unexpected. Not so many Hot Wheels as I thought. Quite a few different cars in this played with lot. Painted Husky models. Volkswagen 1300, made in Great Britain. Got some damage. Still has the top luggage. That'd be an interesting car to restore, actually. So we'll put that off into the interesting side. It's not necessarily going straight into the painted junk pile. And here we have the 93 Camaro. This was released during the blue card years. Plastic base, really nothing too special there. Oh, a very cool looking Matchbox tractor. Souped up Matchbox tractor. Check out the seat on it. So 70s. It looks like it's out of a Star Cruiser or something. 8 exhaust pipes coming right up off the headers. Lesney. What does it say? Anything on it? No. Can't read anything, but very cool. Making more room here. This one's a newer car. The XT3. Look at XT3 vehicle, it says. Normally they don't add vehicle onto it. Older casting, but this is a newer paint job, so we're going to put that somewhere different. And here's a probably blue card era 40s Woody. Actually pretty good shape. Just needs to be cleaned up. It's got a lot of scratches on the plastic roof, but base is still shiny. Might be able to clean that car up and put it into the good collection of vehicles. So we'll just hope that the roof shines up a little bit. What else we got here? Ooh, look at this thing. Another Husky, potentially. Volkswagen. And it's got the lift on it. Man lift. Small scale. Volkswagen pickup. It's pretty cool. Very small. It's kind of a small scale. Putting that over into the Husky cars. And the little Hot Wheels Hot Rod. What's this one called again? I can't remember. Doesn't say. Copyright 75. This is a first release. Also came out with redline wheels. So that is actually a 1977 release of that car. And another mid-90s. What is this? No, it's a Chevrolet. It says it's Chevrolet on it, but for some reason I want to say it's a Corvette. Of course, it's a Corvette funny car. I was going to say Firebird, but it's a Chevrolet. Kind of hard to tell sometimes quickly until you look at the tail lights anyways. Is it a Corvette? Wait a minute. Whatever. Moving on. Brain fart. Look at this thing. It's only got half a wheel. So this is an ancient Lesney crane truck. And the 8-wheeler, I think it's called. 8-wheel crane, number 30. So that's got a lot of these in my collection. Most of them are in much better condition than that one. Nonetheless, it's interesting to see those old vehicles still surviving. One of my favorite cars as a kid was this Lamborghini Diablo. Looks like we're about to lose the spoiler on the back. The red interior, metal base, 1990 or 91 release. Pretty roached. This is a cool car. Look at it. It's got the canopy still intact, but the windscreen has popped out. This is called the Cannonade. And it won't say on the base. Nice looking engine, tailpipes. Pretty common car from about 1983. Alright, I'm going to turn this box a little bit so you can see what's coming. Porsche 930. This is about 1988-89 release. Got some road rash on it, unfortunately. A few chips. Not that bad, but extremely common car with blackwall wheels. Much harder to find with the SP5 wheels, interestingly, from the blue card years. We'll put that in the possible salvage pile of cars that we want to take into the cases that aren't just stacked high with other cars. Which is this one called? Something pipes, I think. The straight pipes. Duh. Look at those fenders on it. This one is from about 2006 or 7, so it's definitely not old. Then we got the Peterbilt tank truck. It's got one hose still that you can pull out. The other one is missing. Someone has painted it and then possibly burnt it. I don't know. It's in rough condition. So that's about 1979, 1980 release. Here is an old 40s Woody. This would only be about second or third release. 1982 or 83, actually, I think. Yeah, 83. It's the High Rakers. Kind of seized in place. I've got a newer Hot Wheel here. Porsche something. Porsche Carrera. Kind of a weird casting. Never really been a big fan of this casting. It's far larger than most other Hot Wheels. So we're going to put that again. The newer selection based on the wheels. Whoa, what is this? This is cool. Looks like a Datsun 280. 240. Fairly 240. Made by Tomica. I thought there was no more Tomicas. Copyright 1975. Right-hand drive, too. Wow, this is a lucky find, even in this condition. I really like these cars. It's even got the defrost lines on the back of the window. Nice suspension, wheels. Really high-quality cars, these Tomicas. And another Yatming. Wasn't expecting that either. Got the Yatming, looks like about a 70, 72, 75 Corvette. Suspension's pretty much shot on it. Doesn't even say Yatming on it. Again, a lot of base variations for these types of cars. Would have been released in the early to mid-1980s, but production continued with this casting for quite a while, through to the late 80s, and then from there, I don't know where they really went. I've lost track where I'm putting my Yatming. Just put it there. Okay. Solaire Cx4. Another mid-late 90s. It's got a white base on it. That's unusual. I think. Maybe not. Might be a Hot Wheels 5-pack special. I'll have to look into that one. Oh, there's a neat streeter that's in decent condition with the original Ford oldie but a goodie tampo on the back. So that's a 1983 release as well. The only year it was made with metallic red. And those were only found with the Malaysia company or country stamps on the base. 65 Ford Mustang convertible. Interesting that Hot Wheels didn't put the name of the cars on the base. It would have been helpful for kids at the time to help learn and remember, but for some reason they really didn't put the name on the cars all that often. Well, we got a sheriff patrol car. We know we need we don't need any more of those, but certainly always nice to have. Don't need any more of any of these cars, really. I just enjoy looking at these old cars, collecting them, and thinking to myself of all the stories that these cars could share, all the love and time they've spent in children's hands being played with, much like my own from back in the day. A little bit of nostalgia for you. Cement truck, 1976. Very cool. I don't think I have any of these still with this cement hopper rail, although the cement tank is mixing, so that's kind of mixing. It's mixing and missing all at the same time. I don't know if that's actually possible. Little Lesney weird trailer. It's missing the cab. And the Lotus. Lotus something. Royal Flash, they call it. It's actually, I think, a Lotus Esprit. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Hot Wheels did call it the Royal Flash. I think that's from about 1982 as well. Oh, here's another interesting Lesney find. Very, very played with. There goes the clock. Brum, brum. Nice to see it with the dumper on it still. And always liked how the engine was visible in the back window of this thing. It's kind of a very cool thing. Impossible to keep clean once you've got some opening of the plastic, though. It's taken a heavy hit on the front. 1975, number 23, the Atlas, it's called. Very cool. I don't have too many of these with a dump bin on it. That is pretty hard to find still. Unlike the Hot Wheels dump trucks, it didn't usually survive as well. Got a change color, 55 Chevy. It's not going to be able to change color anymore by the looks of it. Pretty scrapped looking. Duck that in next to the 55 Chevy Fever. And what is this? It's got an opening trunk, Mercedes, maybe a 280. I don't know. We're going to find out in a minute, hopefully. Oh, it's older. It's even older. It's Majorette. This is really old. 350 SL. 1/60th scale, number 213. That is a cool car. I don't have one of those in my collection. That's going to go into my old Majorette selection of vehicles. It's not very often you find them like that. No opening doors. It looked like it for a second, but you can tell by those old 3-spoke wheels. Those are indicative of a very old Majorette car. And a Real Rider. Those are always nice to find, especially when they've got the tires on them still. This one's in pretty good shape. It's got a lot of chips and things on it, but it looks like the play wear happened all at once, based on the fact that tires are in great shape, and it's still shiny overall. Jeep Scrambler. That's a nice one. I'm going to put that one aside. Another Peterbilt truck. This is the cement mixer. Missing the cement mixing part. Otherwise, the same truck as the tanker truck. Alright, we've still got quite a few cars in here. Just spill them out like that. Let's really see what's coming. Another 93 Camaro's 25th anniversary of Hot Wheels. So Hot Wheels is now about 51 years old. So this car is like 26 years old. I don't have any of these chrome ones in this poor of condition. Where the, I'm not even sure, is the body metal or plastic? It's got to be metal. Yeah, it is metal. But somehow the paint has been just children's hands lovingly kind of gripping the side of this car. And yeah, that's probably what happened there. Just wore it right off. We've got another Lamborghini Diablo. Let's get that out of the way. Also pretty roasted. Oh, another old Lesney. This one's painted, smashed, missing axles and parts. Just ruined. Ruined. What happened to it? Looks like it got hit with the vice grips and the hammer. The Fargo-Matic cab, it's called. And I'm sure I have one of these in better condition. Made by Lesney. Anyways, that one's going in the junk bin. The extra junk bin, I should say. A Jeep CJ7 Real Riders. This would be a rare vehicle if it was in mint shape. It has the snake on the front hood, which you can barely see now. Missing the windshield, half of its roll bar. Still has its tires, so good donor vehicle. I'll probably peel those tires off and use them on a vehicle that is in better condition. It still needs its tires. And here we have a really cool Matchbox Jeep. Looks like either it's got a fly mixed with a boogie on the seat. I don't know what that is, but we'll clean that up later. Awesome looking engine. Very cool tailpipe. Stay in there, boogie fly. We're going to look at the base. The M12 Jeep Hot Rod. Very cool. Don't think I have one of those in that color. So there's more Matchbox in here than I thought. Originally, we've got a Lamborghini Countach by Matchbox. A large scale LP 500, copyright 1985, made in Macau. Nice suspension on it. So we're running out of room for Matchbox, but we'll figure it out. Another Jeep Scrambler. This one's the 1987 paint job release. Very common. Just love the casting though. Look at the axe in the back and the firewood logs. All right, we're going to shift this over. You're going to start to see the cars fill in here. The Teetotaler. This is an old one, probably from about 1978 or 79. Still intact. 76 copyright. That's because it came out originally painted black. Same tempo, but with redline wheels. Ferrari Testarossa. 1986 or 87, maybe 88 release. Does have the Hot Wheel flame on it. They made this car well into the 90s, also extremely common. So looks like a Matchbox trailer also suffering some severe damage. And it's supposed to turn. The hitch attachment is missing. Whoa, we've got a red line. Hot Wheels red line. 1968 or 69 released Firebird, custom Firebird. It says 1967 is the copyright. Still got the wheels on it and all that awesome suspension. They just don't make them like that anymore, do they? Is this car supposed to have a hood? Yeah, definitely should have a hood. So it's missing the hood. It's got a nice windshield though, so for someone interested in restorations, this could be of some value. Very cool. So definitely going to put that aside into my redline collection, which is quite limited. And we've got this interesting Ertl car. 63 Corvette Stingray by Ertl. And some suspension, opening hood. Got one of these in yellow, but not red. Very well built, all metal. So we're going to put that over next to the wagon. The station wagon. Oh, wouldn't you know? Didn't I just say these things were rare to find with that on them? This one's in slightly better condition. Still missing the cement mixer. Cement truck. Okay. Oh, the Panos GTR. This is a Hot Wheel that we don't see anymore. I don't know if it went final run or what happened, but it's a really cool car. Supercar from the late 90s. Panos GTR 1. Used to be in a lot of those like Need for Speed games and stuff like that. So that's one of the newer cars. Another neat streeter, but again, painted. You can see the baby blue original paint job kind of peeking through. Gross paint job on it, so we're going to have to take the wheels off it, drill it apart, strip the whole thing, take it all apart. Will we ever get around to it? I don't know. Still got many years ahead, perhaps. And a 56 Hightail hauler. The motorcycles, both missing their handlebars. This one has had some serious paint jobs, perhaps more than one, as it's got red paint on the window. But overall, it's blue with some big red chips. I mean, look at the depth of that paint job. That is thick, right over the plastic. Ah, what a shame. I mean, it shows love, though. I used to paint my cars when I was a kid, too, so I'm sure the first ones looked just as bad. We've got the Matchbox. Or no, this is a Yatming. This is a Yatming car of the 71 Ford Mustang, I think. Got a few of these. Boss Mustang, made by Yatming. One of the higher quality Yatmings. So we'll put that one down there with the other Yatming car. Here's a cool car. Truck. The Hot Wheels S10. Also known as the Path Beater. No name on it. This is about a 1983 or 84 release. 350 horsepower. There's a newer Hot Wheel of the 63 split window Corvette Stingray. Funky Speed it says on it, so I'm going to guess that's from the 2000s. Put that in the newer Hot Wheel lineup. Oh, this one's a gem. I saw this one when I was buying the lot, and it was probably one of the cars that sold me on it. Because I love Volvo wagons, the old vintage Volvo wagons. It was painted originally green. Majorette still has the hitch pin on it, which is awesome. Backwards facing seats. So I am going to restore this car. I do want to add this one to the junkyard or something. I'm going to give it a really nice paint job because it's a great casting. Definitely one of the older Majorettes. It's got a nice scale. This is a scale on it. 1/60th, so it will fit in nicely. It's a Volvo 245 DL, made in France, collector number 220. Look that up and see what one of these in mint condition looks like, because that's a beauty. We'll put that next to the Majorette cars. Where did the Majorettes go? I'm losing track of things over here. Sorry, guys. Hope you're not in a rush. I'm certainly not. Here we have a Hot Wheels Hot Bird in mint condition. These are actually worth something. This one seems to have paint smeared in the back window and interior. Not really sure how or why that happened, as the car is unpainted. And these were released with the whole Hot One wheels from 1982 to about 1983 or 4, and different wheels throughout the years. It's a nice one, eh? Look at that. They roll so nicely, too. Another 80s Firebird. This is a pretty old one, probably mid-80s. Can't remember exactly when and where that one came from. And here we have a Pontiac Firebird. And this one's got the, look at that. The wheels look like Hot Wheel wheels on it, but it's not actually a Hot Wheels car. I think it's a Road Champ, actually. We're going to find out in a minute here. Opening doors. It's been stepped on by the looks of it. Unfortunately, because that's a very cool car. Nice to see it still has the doors on it. And pretty decent interior. Stickers. It's got a tampo on the, is that a tampo? It has a tampo on the hood and a sticker on the back. That is odd. Isn't that odd? I think it's a sticker. And it is. It's a Road Champs. Road Champs was pretty notorious. I think they were notorious for stealing the Hot Wheel type wheel, but they were the same company as Yatming, or at least same owners at one point. So I'm going to stick that over there with the Yatming cars. There's one of my favorite cars of all time as a kid was the Hot Wheels Blown Camaro. This one specifically, I just loved the paint job, the orange and yellow striping on the side, a little fluff ball coming out of the headlight. The blown motor is not completely ruined, as it often is, seeing that it sticks up above the roof or hood. And that's about a 1983 release. It's got the Hot One wheels on it again. Those gold center wheels. Here we have a destroyed Matchbox car. Mid-70s, number 51 Midnight Magic. That should have a rear cowling over the engine, but it does not. Here we have an ancient 57 T-Bird by Hot Wheels. Some extreme weathering, natural weathering on this one. Probably about a 1980 release for that one. And here is a Canada-only release of the Le Car, I think. Is it a Le Car? Doesn't say on the base. 1990 is the release and the copyright. Made only for 1 year. Also came out in blue. Not with the same tampo. But I think that's a Le Car. I might be forgetting. I might be mixing that up with something. Oh, and here you go. Another doozy. So pretty popular casting. Got 4 of those now piling up over here. And a mid-90s race car of some sort. Does not say. Can't remember. Hot Wheels did a lot of different race cars. That's a nice one, actually. Wheels are still straight, which is unusual. Final car coming out of the box. That's it for the box. Is a Real Riders of the 40 Ford Coupe, I think. 40 Ford two-door. 1983 release. Got some window damage. Might be able to pop that back up and give it a little bit of cleanup. It would look a little better. But it does have some marks on it and some chips. So, very cool. Still rolls. All right, let's check out what we've got here so far. So we've got room for the bins on the table. And we're going to go in for a little pan over of these cars. We're going to get them all sorted by type. And take them over to the bins. See what other things pop up of interest. All of these vehicles have now been sorted better than when I just took them out of the box. So I've got off-brand cars, and I do mean off-brand by other than Hot Wheel, not necessarily off-brand. Ertl on the left, we've got the Road Champs, Yatming on the right here. Tomica with the double high Fords, Majorette with the Volvo wagon, Corgi, Kenner, Matchbox, extending up to the left here, and into Lesney. Then we've got the painted, pretty much junk mobiles. Hot Wheels are the rest of the vehicles here. So I've got them sifted into like vehicles as they go into my inventory, which you're going to see in just a moment. Got a Husky hiding in there as well. And some Real Riders. I haven't shown you guys my Real Rider HOARD yet. Not even in the previous video to this one. So you'll see where those are going and all the other vehicles in that collection. I've got a whole case full of these little hot rods and a case of crack-ups as well, which you haven't seen yet. 3 vehicles being salvaged from the whole operation here. This Solaire Cx4 is actually probably a Hot Wheels 5-pack. It's not listed anywhere else I can find it, but it looks just like a car from 1998. Number 823, I believe, collector number. The Fiero 2M4 is in good enough shape. It's going to go in with a bunch of other minty cars in the Plano sortation, as is the 40s Woody, which polished up really nicely with a microfiber rag. And the redline, well, you'll see where that goes as well if you stick around to the end of this video. But first, we're going to get all of these other Hot Wheels put away where they're going to go. And if we have time, we're going to look at all those Ertls. Well, we'll make time. I said I was going to do that in the last video. I can't keep stalling on you. The Ertls are going to be seen as well, so this is going to be a long video. Got a few trays ready here to go. All the cases that need to be on the table are on the table. I couldn't get 5 of them on the table, but that's okay. No vehicles being sorted into them. You'll see where they ended up anyways. First tray going away, for a little bit anyways, is the Matchbox Vehicles. This is all of them. So 12 Matchbox cars in the lot. And we've got a giant box of Matchbox here next to the Majorette. You'll soon see why I put them in all upside down. Oh, don't worry, kitty. My aim is pretty good. I got all the vehicles in there. Most of them are upright. We almost lost that old roll-o-matic there. Got to do something about this HOARD. As you can see, the box is overfilled. And now let's go for the second tray. The second tray is not going to be nearly as traumatizing in its delivery, let's say. Actually, it's going to be quite a bit more gentle. So here we go with the Solaire Cx4. And it, even though is not likely a mainline car, I did find its doppelganger over here with the gold lace wheels. And so I've made a space for it here. And because it's not in mint condition, it goes backwards to the prevailing order of all the other cars you see face forward. So any car that I have facing backwards is one that I'm waiting to replace because it has some chips on it. I'm not really actively hunting these cars in most cases, but there are just a few on the wall that do need a better version. So that might now be one of them. As for the rest of these cars, they're all newer ones, so I'm just going to put them in these cases where I have identified some other castings the same. Some of these are unique one-offs, such as that one. And the Porsche, well, that's an older one, so they're kind of a little bit more vintage over here. And I'm not really sure. We got some Corvettes here, so we'll line that little 63 in there. And this is kind of a strange looking one, so we'll put it over there with other strange looking vehicles, I suppose. Second tray done. I'm now going to clear the table of the painted junk vehicles, or ultra junk, into the Restore Hot Wheels and Parts box. Took a little digging for me to find this thing. It was well tucked away in the HOARD. And here are some other models that I've got over the years in my collection. Some other painted with, in need of some extra love restoration models. Look at this citation, even the windows are painted. Some of these are in terrible condition, others are just kind of pretty bad. And there's lots of stuff in here. And even some of my my attempts at painting things myself. Here's the Ford Aerostar van painted. Well, I certainly haven't perfected my technique. Here's another one I did. I did that one a long time ago. Wrapped it in string and painted it with black paint. Kind of give it a junkyard demolition derby look. This one got the Sharpie treatment. So there's a few different things in here. They just fit. Got them stacked 3 high between those 2 boxes. Alright, I'm going to move what I can just by hand since some of these cars don't really have to go far. Got the 55 Chevys Well, they're going into this bin of other 55 Chevys, 57 Chevys, 57 T-Birds. Sometimes I have to look down at the side of the bin to really see what's in there. This one is completely comprised of 55, 57 Chevys. And, of course, we got one T-Bird as well. Look at this poor thing. It's been featured in a few of my YouTube videos over the years. Some junkyard trash videos, Monster Jam videos. A few of these cars are actually video stars. And where are we going to go next? From here, we've got these Sheriff Patrol. Well, that's an easy one. I know where the Sheriff Patrol is going. It's going over into this giant box of Sheriff Patrol cars. Make sure the lid still fits on these. And the 31 doozy collection, as well as that Mercedes 540K. Those are all going over to this bin here full of cars from the 30s. I've got some Auburn Boattail Speedsters in there, Talbot Leo, and of course a whole bunch of 31 doozies. Look at all those Boattail Speedsters. Quite a few cars. Actually, my favorite car in this box is this beast. Missing a headlight. That's the classic Packard. Absolutely love that one. Probably one of the harder cars to find from the 30s, Hot Wheels wise. And where else are we going to go? Let's go for something simple. Porsche. Got 3 Porsches here. So, they weren't quite good enough to go into the minty box. It's not like these cars get damaged anyways, really. They're just sitting here, so it's not going to get any worse, that's for sure. I'm just going to pack them in there. And this one, I've got so many of them. It's got a few chips and stuff on. I don't really need another one in the mint collection. Another easy one to place is Pontiacs. That includes the 80s Firebird, the Hotbird, and of course the Pontiac Fiero. So we'll put another Hotbird in there, another Fiero, and the Firebirds. There we go. Okay, where are we going to go next? Let's see. We've got these. These all go together. The Gremlin, the Cannonade, and that IndyCar. Turns out I had it. So we're going to put those somewhere kind of recognizable. And that is over to this bin here. Got a Cannonade straight on top. Another one of those Gremlins. And I don't think I have any of these in the box as it's newer. But I did see some other kind of Indy Formula style cars. So we'll just keep it in there because it is kind of a neat one. It's all metal. Check out this one. This one's in pretty good shape. I was looking at this one to see if I could recover that one. But it's got a few chips on it. A little bit of play wear. So for now it's going to stay parked in here because I probably have about 10, 15 of those things in mint condition over on the Plano display wall, storage wall, sorry. Mustang and Camaro. Why are the Mustangs and Camaro together? I don't know. I gotta definitely sort these out a little better. Some of these boxes, that's gonna be something to do in the off time because it's really quite time consuming once you get all these cars out. Maybe I'll try doing a video at a time, like one video for one box. I'm not really sure how that would work. Got some old cars from the 40s and earlier. The 40s Woody. It's going to join a bunch of Woodies. I don't know if there's a neat streeter in there. There's definitely some teetotalers in there. This one is going to go somewhere else, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it goes all the way over here. Boom. In with these cars. Again, not really sure why they're all mixed in with tow trucks, steering rigs, and phone trucks. It's quite a mixture. Look at all the oldies but goodies in there. Their bums are tucking out there at the window. They're all mooning you. And there's a bunch of cabs. Tractors. Oh, tankers. Good thing we looked there. We got some tankers. Those are going there. Ferrari F40 mixed with BMW. That's got to change. Oh, there's a Miata. Oh, and there's those. There's one of those Renault cars, or Le Car. Mixed in with some Chevy Citations, some Ford Mustangs, and strangely some Datsun 280Z cars. So that's going to lead us to the next grouping of cars, I guess. Yeah, there was Lotus in there as well, I remember, from my pre-inspection. So that's not going to fit. The lid's not going to fit on that one. We're going to have to do something about that case. And we got some trucks. I don't know where this thing's going exactly, the Hightail D50, but I do know that the scramblers, there's a whole bunch of scramblers, path beater slash, there's even a Baywatch truck in there. That's kind of cool. And this one, where was this one going again? I can't remember. All right, well, we'll put that one back for a second to figure that out. The obvious ones were these big trucks, like we just saw. Those are going to go over here. So we've got a whole bunch of ambulances and mail vans, some in better condition than others. And again, I don't think the lid is going to close with all these new additions, all being 3. But that is the tipping point, I think, for some of these containers of vehicles. We've got the Miata and Corvette, custom Corvette. That's an odd mix. That's in that odd BMW M1 Ferrari F40 bin. Just a few cars left to go. Lamborghini Diablo. Ferraris, I think. Are they with anything else? I don't think so, but that's what needs some sortation. We've got Ferrari bin over here. And look, there's F40s over here. So I got to remember that these F40s actually, there's only a few on top. Most of them have ended up over here. So I'm going to put them there to remind myself to shift this over. Got some Solaire Cx4s in there. And I don't know where all the Lamborghinis go. I seem to have forgotten. We'll put them, the rest of these cars, in a tray. Take them for a little hunt. Because those are kind of the oddballs. We're down to the last 6. I know where all the rest of the cars are going. These 2, well, they can disappear immediately. And by disappear, I mean head over to the Minty wall. So they're going to be sorted into these cases of year-by-year kind of cars. They're duplicates. And as you can see, I've got a little procession of those vehicles already happening that need to be sorted. Got lots of case space to put them. And in fact, I think that's where these cars, well, this one does end up anyways. It's not in a minty condition, but for some reason I have all these delicate little hot rods, because a lot of them have windshields and delicate little tailpipes. Even the bad ones I keep in one of these, I think it's a 24 car case somewhere. The crack up, I don't know why I grabbed that. We still got to look at those cases of real riders and crack ups. There's about 200 cars there. So the crack up car will go there along with the real riders. And then these ones I'm going to sort off camera, because that will just take way too much digging to show you where they all go exactly. As you can see, just by this little group of cases I have out here currently, that's just to get a few Ertl cars out for you to show you the before and after of what years of playwear does to a Ertl car. So yeah, that's how much work it really is. So we've only got 6 cars left, and then we're going to look at some Ertl cars before and after, some real riders. And if this takes too long, I will abort, because I really don't know exactly where these cars are going. So we'll just kind of look around. And oh, I see some cars already. There's some of those race cars. We'll stick them in there. The Volkswagens. There's a bunch of Thunderbird stalkers. What a mess. These cars need to be stacked better. Looks like they were just dumped in there. Possibly I was looking for something. And the Firebird funny car. This, even though it has a Chevrolet Tampo on the front, it's actually a Firebird. I know, because I just saw these cars when I was doing my pre-inspection, but now I've lost them. Where did they go? Where did they go? There they are. They're right over there. So there, next to some other cars. I've got some really old ones in here. And I actually just found this one. Stepped on. That would be a very rare car and expensive if it was in mint condition. Next to the other cars. I also just found that one. Porsche going in the wrong case. Some pretty cool things there. Anyways, we're down to 4 vehicles. The Dodge D50. It's definitely going in with some trucks. I see Dodges. So if we want to confirm, we've got to lift up about 30 pounds of cars and just kind of shift that out of the way. And yeah, I can see there's some more of those trucks in there. On top of the spoiler sport, there's a chrome version, a whole bunch of GMC motor vans, Ford Aerostars just stacked deep, and a whole bunch of aluminum minivans kind of taking up the top. Mini Trek over here. So that'll help me identify that in the future. We've got one of those up on top when I open the lid. Down to just three, well really two cars, because one of them is duplicated. I think we're just going to throw the Jet Threat for now in with those old Porsches. Where did I find that at again? I'm all turned around. And we'll probably just leave the Lamborghinis because I don't see them. I haven't seen them yet, so I'll probably just leave them. Yeah, we'll put the Jet Threat in over here just because it's got some interesting old cars. We've got the American Victory here. That's an old casting. Well, you've done it now, kitty. I'm just down here on the ground looking for my Hot Wheels redlines. Found my Yatming junk lot hoard. As you can see, it's going to take some squeezing just to get 4 more vehicles in here because it is quite packed, as you can see. As the search continues through these wonderful vintage 24 car cases, I did go ahead and find the hot rod car. I keep calling it the hot rod car. It's called the Street Rodder, I think. And looks like we've got room in there next to a McDonald's variation. That's interesting. There's a McDonald's car mixed in with a bunch. I'm going to move that. I don't think that... Oh, geez. I don't think that belongs in there. And I did just see a few other McDonald's cars. So we'll go ahead and button that up for now. We've got quite a few. These are all my non-minty versions. I have quite a few more. All right, well, we can do that off camera. And yes, I just found my McDonald's cars. What is going on here, Neener? You look like a porcupine. Are you a porcupine? Don't you start digging at the old Matchbox case. We can't be having you putting your claws into vintage Matchbox. You can play with the cardboard. That's about all we'll let you play with. So we got the convertibles in here. You probably just saw them. We've got McDonald's cars in down here. So there's actually just enough room for this one oddball McDonald's car to fit right there. Bye-bye. As I'm hunting, I just found this. I meant to do a deep review on these vintage minty Lesney vehicles. I got this from Stephen, Papa, and Peter Brewer a while back. One of their wonderful random acts of kindness, and I have not done this case justice, but I've left it just the way I received it because that is on a list of videos I want to make. I'm glad I found that. That's great. I'm going to incorporate that into the gas stations, I'm pretty sure. Box of red lines at last, so now we can find a home for the Pontiac Firebird. And here we go. Check it out. Got quite a few in here. Do I have another Pontiac Firebird? Yes, I do. This is the one that I've had since I was a kid. And it does not have a hood on it. This is the open engine version, so it might be a different model entirely. Light My Firebird, that one's called. What's this one called? This one is called the Custom Firebird. So yeah, 2 different castings entirely. As you can see, I don't have much of a redline collection. I've got a few on display around the Hot Wheels Museum. This is where the junk ones go. And got some of those, what are they called? Oh, goodness me, it's right on the tip of my tongue what these things are called. Oh well. Anyway, some cool stuff in there. That's where the red lines go. Still got room for 9 more junky red lines. And finally, we are into the Real Riders, the crack-ups, and I have found the elusive Lamborghini collection, along with some Zenderfact 4s in these jammer cases. And these jammers would normally hold 24 cars per side, as they are dual-sided. As you can see, they have a handle. You can flip it all the way around and get more cars in there. Most of my jammers, these are all of them, all 4, I've got filled to capacity, double filled where possible, cars on top of cars, because these are my non-mint examples. So where normally a case of jammers holds about 48 cars, I would say these are averaging about 60 to 70 cars each. So we've got about another 300 cars just to have a glimpse at as we find a home, hopefully, for the 3 Real Riders, the Crack Ups. I'm sure we can get that one in there. And 2 more Lamborghini Diablos. Let's get these cases down where we can look at them now. So there's this case here. I could probably double up a couple of these Space Cop type cars. Forget what that one's called. And some other interesting, some Jaguar XJ220s down there. Let's just crack this case. Oh my goodness. Crack the case open. Have a look. Love the Sunigon. The old Volkswagen Sunigon happens to be in here. I had a few examples of that one. Most of them are pretty roasted. These ones are missing their roofs. 5 Sunigons, an Alien even. I don't know if that belongs there. We can probably make room. Maybe we'll just look at the cases versus trying to find a home. Because, as you can see, they are stuffed, full, and 2 deep already with Lamborghinis from various years. We've got the Zenderfact models as well. That's this one here. That's a blue card era car. These are all blue card era for the most part. Even found some more change color cars. There's another change color Lamborghini Countach. And they're kind of spread all over the place. That's another sortation I need to kind of do, I think, as I've been looking at color changer cars and finding them literally everywhere. So we're going to move that case off to the side. We're going to deal with those Lamborghinis later. Let's look at my junk crack-up collection now. And what's on the other side of this? We'll look at that side first. Oh, good. Lots of room. Lots of room in the crack-ups car. And we've got room for some Real Riders. So that's something I must have been working on recently. Got some of these cars here. As you can see, some old Fire Boss cars missing just about all their paint. Completely corroded. Why do I keep all these cars, you ask? Who knows? There's some Solaire Cx4. Who knows? I know. Nobody else knows. That one's in good shape. That one's actually... No, it's not. Okay. Ooh, that's a cool one. The old front ender, I think that one was called. Front ender, because you lock it in place like that. If it'll lock, it's probably too worn out. Yeah. One-handed operation is not going to work. Real Riders. Got a bunch of Formula cars, Indy cars. So, if nothing else, I can fit those on this side. But I'm going to leave it open for a second because there's definitely going to be a bit of a sortation. We've got more fire chief or police crack-up cars, whatever you call it. Right there. Whole bunch of crack-ups of a variety of things. No more Real Riders in this case. So I'm glad I found that. I can work on sorting that. And so we'll just look at these cases. I might as well move these aside because I don't think they're going to get placed easily and quickly. Not quite like just dump them into a shoebox bin. So on this side, we've got more Real Riders, including the, what are these called? California Customs from 1990 through 1993 or 2. Cal Customs. If these were mint, some of them would be worth quite a bit of money. And actually, that one's in nice shape. It's a little bit used though. So we got a few of those. There's an expensive one. That one was minty. It's not too bad. It's got some chips on it though. It's definitely played with. I bought one of these things for my background display wall. Let's see if I can just eyeball it from here. Zoomage. There it is. That one cost me about $100. So, for a mint example. So, let's put those out for a second. I'm not going to really get them in. Look at this one. It's got no tires. That's what I was talking about. Good for having donor cars. Sometimes you get a good Real Rider with no tires on it. The kids peel them off, or maybe the cat ate them. Who knows? So, we'll look at that. Yeah, so that's one side of the case. And on the other side of the case, looks to be a lot of Bywayman, Super Scraper, Baja van, cat hair, and of course the emergency rescue truck. Here's another rare Real Rider, the white hub A-Team van or Baja Breaker. Wow, this thing's just salty. You can feel the dirt on my hands from that one. Anyways, that's all good. Tells a story. opening hoods on these. And these are fun to find. Sometimes they're missing the plow like this one. Other times they're missing the lights on the roll bar. So those are one more case to look at, I think. And then we're going to finish this very long video with an Ertl side-by-side for anyone that wants to see that. Okay, let's see what's on this side. I've got the Real Riders again. 40 Ford two-door coupe. Cobra. Greased Gremlin. The Dodge Omni with the trike. Baja Beetles. Might as well have a peek, eh? We're here. We're here for a visit. And this Greased Gremlin is not an authentic Greased Gremlin. It's actually a custom that I made. Put a little screw in the bottom. I was trying to duplicate the Mexico release Greased Gremlin, which has white hub wheels, is worth about $700 to $1,000 mint. For myself, for my own pure enjoyment and for my display wall. But, of course, good old Dreadnought 320 called it out way back years ago when I showcased this car as a bit of a fun kind of little joke. And he said, but the tampo isn't right. Tampo's not right. Looks very similar, but it should have white in the tampo, not yellow. So that's the difference. And he's right. So there you go. That's those cars. It's nice to see this car re-released again for current model year, like in the new Hot Wheels mainline. Here it is all metal with Real Riders. Oh, there's a custom. I found this one at a park not that long ago. Somebody had thrown it away. Threw away Hot Wheels. Who throws away Hot Wheels? Certainly custom ones. My goodness. What's wrong with people? Just kidding. I don't know. I'm sure some kids were just going to play with them. They were left to play with the kids. Well, unfortunately, I found a few of them and picked them up. Saved them from certain death. Because this is what happens to them if they get left in the sandbox. And yes, I know kids got to have fun, but not with vintage classics. Not these ones. Not when I have something to do about it. And if I'm walking through the park and you leave a Real Rider on a picnic table, I'm going to pick it up. I can tell you that. Got some other ones rare in here. The good old pick 'em up. Those are worth about 75 bucks each if they were mint. Got 3 old beat up ones here. Look at this one. Woo! Cat hair. Not my cat hair. My cat doesn't have white hair. I don't know whose cat that was. Maybe it's my own hair. I got white hair. No, it's not my hair. Okay, a bunch of Jeep Scramblers in here. Gotta eat some breakfast here. I'm running on 3 cups of coffee. So we're going to finish this off with the Ertl Show and Shine.